Hi there, this is Popo, I hope you'll fine. Welcome to this new series of matches miniatures. So these are games of matches that has been played in real life. As you probably know, I'm part of a chess club actually, and I have some friends that are now very interested about matches stuff, even they rather play classical games, but they wanted to try out. So I designed some matches cards to let them know the rules of the game, and then they would sit around a real chessboard and play some games, because they rather play on a chessboard rather than on a computer, so I can understand that. So here is a special game to begin this series, because this is the first matches game ever played with our friends. So two of my friends are playing here. One of them is the Centaur, so this is the first time for him, and the other one is the humans, because at that time playing just two matches faction would be too complicated, so they play the Centaurs against something they already know, so this is better. These two players are not high-rated chess players, but they performed some kind of very cool stuff here. Let me show you. So the game begins with e4, the e6, d4, and here you can't really play the French defense. The problem is that if you go here, then the ram would be able to push the pawn. As you know, the ram pushes pawn in front of them. So here you would have already a very weird structure. So rather than that, he played knight to f6, we have satire to d3, defending the pawn, knight to c6, and here rather than defending the pawn for some reason, the Centaurs play c4. I don't know the idea of this. Maybe this is gambiting the pawn and then put the satire on e3. I have no idea. Okay, anyways, so knight takes and then a satire to f4. Even more surprising. But okay, why not? We have bishop to d6, trying to exchange the bishops then, but e5 is played. And at this point you might say this is a fork, but if you look carefully this is not, because you have the intermezzo bishop to b4 check, and after the bear blocks, then you put the knight on g8. Why g8? Because if you see, all the squares here are covered by any pieces, so the knight would fall like here, here, here. So this is because of this that knight goes back to g8, and the opponent can't castle yet. Here you have a lot of ways to continue, but I guess Centaurs wanted the most aggressive one. We have chief to g4, and here you have to be very careful, because this is attacked, and at the same time this could be attacked if the setter went to move. So here king to f8 is played. King to f8, why not? Maybe he was really afraid of just weakening the structure here. So why not? And actually, maybe there was some plan of, if this, maybe this, and then you have to capture, because if you decide to retreat the knight, then the setter who was here would go here and take the rook. Maybe there is some stuff like this, you don't know. So king to f8 is played, and then we have h4, so immediately going for the attack, he doesn't have time to castle. And we have h5, trying to kick the chief. This is a very good move. The only problem is that you're playing against the Centaurs, and as you might know, the ram can just push the pawn in front of them, so it has no effect on the game. We have a knight to e7. This move is not so bad, because I guess the aim is to go here on f5 and have a nice spot. But here, I guess the plan completely fall apart, because we have already a surprising move at move 11. This is satire to g6. And here I guess this was really something that was really thought. This is not a blunder, I guess this is just a sacrifice. The plan is that if you take with the pawn, you can take back with the ram, and here you will have a wall column to go over the king. And if you decide to take with the knight, then rag captures, pawn captures, chief captures, and you are also in danger, somehow. So this is why pawn captures anyways, and we have a ram takes. Like, why not? Here, now that you take the position, you have to see a major threat here. And this threat is actually to go there. And now, if you let that happen, you're going to lose the rook with promotion. So I perfectly know that this is still available for white, even with an intermezzo, but here you have first to defend this big threat. So this is why in the game we have knight to f5, which is played, and with this, this is pretty cool because you have finally this spot, you were defending against the open file, and then you defend this g7 spot. So a very good move which is played. So now the white has to defend here against c2, so this is why he decides to play f3. At first glance you must say, okay, this is a big blunder, you're completely losing the game, but not really, because actually this f3 move sets a very nasty trap that you have to look for. But actually black doesn't look for it, and he takes first the bear on b3, and then he goes knight to c2 check, winning the 10th, and now as you see the position of white is completely shitty. He has isolated pawns with double stuff, the king is completely misplaced, like he's done too much material. I guess this is 2 bold pieces is down, so okay, this is just the end for him. But actually now the trap sets in, so be careful. g7 check. So the idea as before is to take the rook, and here the only way you can defend it if you want to save your rook is just to go here. Actually the best move here to play would be something like this, as strange as it looks, but here knight captures, and this is just the end of the game because black completely fell in white's trap, because this is actually mate in 1 in the position. I hope you all see that. You can pause the video if you want, I'll let you some time. So the answer was just to drag the king with the satire. Remember, the satire can just drag a piece which is up to 4 square, and this is good because the king is exactly 4 square away. So the centaur the satire drags the king and then checkmate. Let me see why. So you can play here, you can play here, you can play here, you can't take it, you can't take it, and you can't take also here because there's the f3 ram just there. Very clever. This was a very risky game because if black plays very accurately, you can survive somehow even if you get back your material, and the position seems very scary because you have a lot of pieces here, this one here, this one here, you would have a 10 here, the 10 can just slide, like you can survive, but you have to be very careful because black would have some counterplay with some move like this, and the knight can just go back into the game, so you have to be very careful. But the way this game was played was very cool, and I'm very glad that actually one of my friends saw this tactic, which is very gorgeous. So this is the end of this game. I hope you like it. We're going to see each other next time for another in real life match chess game. I have a lot of exciting stuff to show you. So see you then. Bye.